Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. This will be the horoscope for May 2023. Let's take a look at what's happening on the sky and what we can do with these transits. So, at the beginning of May, we have a lot of planets in Taurus. Okay, we will have the Sun in Taurus, Uranus, of course, Mercury is in Taurus. We also have the Destiny, the North Node of the Moon in Taurus. So a lot of activity in Taurus. And as a lot of you already know, Taurus is all about money, assets, what we have, what we own, how much money we're making, and all of that. Our monthly salaries, all of that. And so also considering that Mercury will be retrograde at the beginning of May, um, it's going to be a very good time for us to reevaluate our financial plans, our financial goals. Okay, we will be looking at the money we have. Okay, let's see how much money we're making, what are we spending this money on. So stuff like that. Okay, that will be very important. We'll be making plans, from a money perspective. um, we will be needing a lot of patience. Okay, you have to be careful with Mercury retrograde in Taurus what you're buying during this time at the beginning of May. Um, just make sure you don't buy things you don't need. So that's on one side. On the other side, with all this activity in Taurus, there's this risk of being a little bit too possessive, as in putting too much focus on money, on this materialistic side of life. Okay, and we might get a little bit too crazy there. Maybe we will be freaking out a little bit, thinking that, oh my god, I just don't want to spend money because what's gonna happen, what if I lose my job, what if I lose all my money and stuff. So we might get into this other um how do you say that, mood where we don't want to spend any money at all. And sometimes we have to spend some money because that's how you manifest more money in your life somehow. The point is you need to keep balance, right? Don't spend too much, but spend the money you have to spend. Okay, invest some money. It's not a problem. You just have to be careful about your investments during this time. On the 4th of May, Venus, we'll be having Venus in Gemini. And it's still going to be in Gemini on the 4th of May, right? And so the problem is there's going to be a not so great square between Venus and Neptune. We have Neptune in Pisces right now. However, Venus will have a sextile with Jupiter during this time. Jupiter is in Aries. So basically what this means is that we will be in the mood to talk. We want to have interesting discussions. The problem, interesting discussions and really big plans. But the problem is we're a little bit irritated because it's like the rest of the world can't really understand what we're trying to say. Okay, but the problem is somehow we expect them to read our mind, and so it's gonna be a problem with communication, long story short. And some of you guys, you might have some issues considering the square with Neptune. You might have some issues in your love relationships, right? Secret affairs, whatever you have, you might have a problem, when discussing with the person that you love. Okay. Now, after a lot of us felt more adventurous than usually when it comes to love and stuff, with Venus in Gemini, on the 8th of May, when Miss Venus will be entering Cancer, we will be in the mood for love. Okay, we will all feel this need to have something more serious, to see some proof of love, have loyalty and devotion from our partners. With Venus in Cancer, you have to be very careful because there's this risk of, starting to miss something from the past or someone from the past. Okay, you might start thinking that, oh my God, that relationship that I was in 2 years ago was so good, so wonderful. It was, so romantic and all of that. It wasn't. Okay, that's all I have to say. It wasn't. That's why it's your former relationship, right? If everything would have been so good, you would still be with that person. It wasn't romantic as you think it was. There were some issues, so you have to remember that too, because there's this risk again of feeling a little bit of nostalgia for the past. So you have to be careful there, behave, don't text your ex. And if there's nothing else to do, you can always start to redecorate your home. With Venus in Cancer, a lot of us can have ideas about how we want to make our homes look nicer and stuff. So do that. Don't text your ex, okay? Around 14th, 16th of May, when Venus and Mars will have some cool aspects with Saturn and Neptune. It's actually a very good time talking about the past. So around 14, 16, it's a good time for us to solve something from the past, okay? We might have very important revelations during this time. Maybe we will clarify once and for all some issue that we had with someone. Maybe with someone that we were in a relationship with. That's also possible, but it can also be an issue that we have with someone from our families, right? Maybe we had a problem with our mother because I don't know what she did when we were kids. You're gonna talk about it. You can talk about it. You can solve it during this time. Okay. On the 17th of May, Jupiter enters Taurus, and the problem is there's gonna be a square with Pluto from Aquarius. Okay, now we're gonna talk more about this. I'm actually kind of uncomfortable with this aspect from a political point of view. Because what happens is that there's this need for more for expansion for more land, and then that comes at war with the world and the people. And so I do expect some issues from a global point of view. When thinking about wars and stuff, I do expect some issues, some not so pleasant discussions, politically speaking, happening at this time. We'll see. We'll talk more about it with Jupiter in Taurus soon. Now, from our point of view, right, as normal human beings, with this square between Jupiter and Pluto, what happens is that there can be an inner conflict, okay, that we're feeling between, our desire for luxury, for, more money, more nice stuff. So there's this, again, conflict between this and our how do you say that in English? I don't know how you say that in English, but it's more our altruistic side, the side of us that thinks about other people too. Okay, so it's like we want to, maybe book a super hot holiday, but at the same time, we want to go there and we want to have a good time, but at the same time, we realize that we should actually probably take our partner to our husbands or whatever, especially since they're paying for it, and we might feel a bit uncomfortable there. Or, maybe we want to buy some super cool shoes or a little bit expensive. But then on the other hand, we're thinking that, I could actually buy my mom something as well, instead of spending all this money on me. So there can be that, there's there are also people, so around 17th of May, who will be maybe they're just not the salary, the monthly salary that they're getting is just not enough for the life that they want. And so they start thinking about something else to do, another way to make money, because they want more money. Okay, that's for sure. And others, other people out there, maybe they'll just get lucky, maybe they'll inherit something, maybe they'll win a bet, whatever. They'll get some extra money. And so it can also be that having this extra money means that they're gonna get I don't think I want to work for a global company anymore. I don't want to be a little robot anymore. So there's that. And also, for a lot of people, there can be an increase in your finances. You can actually make more money. Maybe you'll get a raise at work, especially for my Aries people, Aries rising people. So there's also that. On the 20th of May, Mars enters Leo, and we will be a bit more selfish than usual. Basically, for a lot of you, as I was saying earlier, maybe you're thinking about booking a trip, or buying something for yourself. Maybe you'll actually do that. Okay. And you'll only think about you in the end. The good thing with Mars in Leo is that we're more passionate than before. We'll be more passionate with Mars in Leo. Now the problem is Mars is making some hard aspects with Jupiter, Pluto, and Destiny, the north node of the moon that's in Taurus. And so there's this risk with Mars in Leo, risk of accidents, okay, conflict with other people. There's a risk of us losing money. So we have to be very careful about how much money we're spending and why we're spending it. Okay, because a lot of times we're spending money, we're buying stuff that we don't really need, but we want other people to see that we have them. We're spending a lot of money on a car that we don't really need, because a cheaper one would still do the same thing, but we want other people to see that we made it. Okay, so be careful about that. Don't buy stuff that you don't really afford just to impress other people. We all, get into that. There's no judging here, because we all get into this trap, right? Just remember that in this life, you don't have to impress anyone. You are not obliged, to impress anyone. Okay, just live your life however you want to. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, really. They're all gonna die in the end. Then on the 28th of May, there's going to be the Sun in Gemini is squaring Saturn from Pisces, okay? So just make sure at the end of May, just don't pretend you're someone you're not, okay? Just be your true, authentic self. And you also have to be very careful with other people. Be careful about the image other people present, the image of themselves that other people present to the world, because there's this risk of again, trying to be someone, to seem someone they're not. So you have to be careful about how much you trust what other people show you. Long story short. So guys, this is generally speaking what's happening in May. We're going to take a look at each sign. Remember, again, when you check your horoscope, to always check your rising sign predictions. First of all, you check those first of all, and then you check the horoscope, the predictions for your sun sign. Okay, remember that's important, because that's how you can see in which areas of life changes are happening. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow with Aries, and till then, big hug. Talk to you soon. Bye.